Hello, everybody. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. A little video with my good friend Lou. You know what I mean? Right there from West Ham Network. Here to talk about David Moyes, Lopetegui, and the ownership of this club. Obviously, the news has come out today, Lou, that Moyes is definitely leaving. Yeah, 6 o'clock tonight, as a fact. Um, what are you saying, mate, in regards to everything?
Obviously, the news has come out; it's official now, so
Yeah,
everyone can stop wondering what's going on, and all the social media. Will he? Won't he? Can stop. Um, I will just say I'm on Twitter. I don't know if you can see my name at any point on this video, but I put it out there that um, I I think he deserves respect for what he's done. Me personally, I have slagged him off something proper over the last year and a half.
yeah,
I've not tried to be horrible. I've tried to always make it critical about what he's done. Like I've said it many times before, so I'm blue in the face. I used to be a biggest fan. I used to scream from the rooftops what he's done for the club and where he got us to. He's only after the first game of last season when I think he left Fabianski in goal and he didn't put Ariola after he was the new goalkeeper. He'd been done the permanent, and that to me started a downward spiral that
yeah,
I went from loving him to be frustrated with him to ending in having like no feelings towards him. I wasn't even angry with him. I've just been like just when like you sort of fall out with an ex and you just had no feelings towards him at all. Um, but he's done. I think the first we done what he was asked to do. Then he done better than what he was asked to do. I think he done what they thought Pellegrini was going to do. That's
yeah,
that's the fundamentals of it. But I'm happy he's gone because I think he and the club needed to move. I think it's a season too late, and I think, and I've said this a number of times as well. He should have left after the trophy win, because barring an amazing Europa League win this season, it wasn't going to get any better for him. Like he'd reached his ceiling. And yes, I know that he took the contract offer that Sullivan gave him. Fair enough. I think it made sense at the time. But even if we'd have had, you know, an amazing season this season, like I don't know, going further in the cups, maintaining that sixth place even to now
yeah.
in the league and stuff. I just didn't see it getting much better. And to me, personally, it hasn't. So I think it's come a bit too late. If I'm honest, I think you'll agree with me with that. Is that the announcement has come a bit too late. But there's always that part of you that thinks, well, maybe if we'd have got a win against Chelsea, Sullivan would have gone, oh, maybe I should get rid of him. Maybe I should keep him on a bit longer. I don't know. There's always that little voice in
Mm.
your head that tells you he's thinking something different to what maybe he should be thinking. But it's done now. It's gone. It's black and white. It's in paper. It's on paper, whatever you want to call it. And it's done. It's done. So thank you, Moisey, for what you've done. But yeah, I'm not going to sing his praises too much because I've been criticising him for ages. So
The only thing I will say, Lou, yeah, is wanting him to go, and I understand what people are saying to a point, yeah, and they're happy that he's going. But this is a man who has transformed West Ham to a point into a standard where now people are expecting top end managers at the club and expecting the best in class rather than just what we're going to get served up. But the difference is, the one thing I am going to say is I do think David Moyes has been stitched up massively in this situation, though, to a point in the last 5 months. I like just little things that you're hearing, like the January window. There was no help there. Yeah, obviously we get Calvin Phillips in, but there's no other. Like he's getting rid of two attackers. No one's replacing them. I think if you're not going to back this geezer, then why is it that the ownership of the club have come out and said it now rather than why didn't they say it 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago and said this is what the situation is, we're going to part our ways, right? And the Lopetegui links and all that for the journalists and all that is so disrespectful. It's lack of respect, it's lack of class, it's lack of dignity. And the geezer deserves better than that. Whether you like him or you don't like him, like he deserves a bit more respect than that, surely, though.
well, they've done the same thing with Aaron Grant.
Yeah,
Aaron Grant got relegated and they wouldn't let him back on the bus. Apparently, I don't know if that's true or not. That's
yeah,
the first thing you hear is they wouldn't let him back on the coach. So you've got to find your own way home. And I put it out on Twitter. I think I just told you before we come on. So I put it out on Twitter just now. I said you got these pundits and these people in the media that are saying this is disgusting the way the owners are treating. Everyone's thinking, well, this is what they're like. They've never
yeah,
really been in it. In fact, when he first come along, Moyes, he done a good thing, which is shutting them up. Suddenly they were speaking less in the media. They were speaking less in the press. You didn't hear about them like you did under other managers. But this is what they're like. And when we had the protest in 2018, I said, people will agree with the way it was done or not. People got to a point when they couldn't get their voice out enough to be listened to, so it ended up getting a bit physical,
Yeah.
and stuff. And I'm not saying I agree with it, but I kind of understand where people are coming from because they want people to know how they feel and it wasn't being listened to. And then you had the media back then going, "Oh, be happy about these owners. They put you in this amazing stadium. They've done this. They've saved you from being liquidated or whatever." And then now nothing has changed. They're still the same people. And now the media are going, "Well, why are they doing this?" Thinking, "Well, we told you this in 2018 that they were like this. We had the protest, but you didn't want to listen. So this is what happens when, if in my opinion, I think the media have got egg on their face a little bit because they can't slag off people. You can't criticise people who you're backing up for the same things that West Ham fans were also protesting against them as well. But it's I think the problem is, and this has been going on for a little while now, is the fact that little things like, personally, I don't think Moyes is blameless. I think he would have wanted to get rid of Ben Rama and Fornals. He wouldn't have been crying too much over them going. To the point, I don't know who was in charge of it, but to the point where we tried to stop the transfers going through in the end because we knew that we weren't getting any replacements in. So I think when he comes out in an interview after the Arsenal game, the 2-0 win, when everyone was saying how good he was, and suddenly went all smugly, "Oh, there's a contract on the offer for me." That's fine, him saying that, but then that has to be backed up by like the next day saying, "Well, are you going to sign it or not?" Because then all it's been for me for all season. It's been your court, my court, your court, my court, where it's a rallying game between him and Sullivan, who's got the most power. And like, I think what's happened is that you've been saying it for ages. I'll hands up to you. You've been saying it for ages, right? But the Moyes out thing's become bigger than Sullivan out. And I think people are starting to realise actually, like, we'll get to the Lopetegui thing, I'm sure, in a minute. But
Yeah.
but fundamentally, it's been Moyes out, Moyes out, Moyes out. But at no point has it felt like, well, the reason he's still here is because the bloke upstairs wants to keep him on. And I think there's a lot of people that can understand why he was kept on and why Sullivan might think like it benefits him, not the club, him,
Yeah.
because there's no payout, etc. But I myself kind of have sometimes got sucked into the it's all Moyes' fault, and suddenly you go, well, there's a reason why the bloke whose fault it is still here, able to make things his own fault because he's not being relieved of his duties. If he's that bad, he needs to be let go, and he hasn't. So for me, there's no surprise about all this lack of class and stuff. And as we all know, Sullivan isn't the most trustworthy person in the world, and it's just going to show now that his lack of class is out there in the open. And again, West Ham, Ergo look like a classless club in a way themselves.
I'm going to say this. This is what I think's happened. Yeah. Now I could be completely wrong. Yeah. But this is what I believe. I believe there was a contract there. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, I think there was a contract there to say at the end of the season. I think Sullivan and Moyes have discussed it and basically said we'll discuss it at the end of the season. I then believe that Sullivan's gone behind his back and told Steidon to start looking at managers and everything. Yeah. And to sort of cause a rift between them two. Yeah. The rift's happened. Moyes has got the ump because he believes that Steiden's gone behind his back. And Steiden is taking offence to it because he's doing his job of what the owner's saying. And I do believe that, and I'm pretty strong on this. I believe Sullivan's played them both against each other, and it's made it untenable for Moyes to still be here. That's why the contract's not there no more, and that's why he will leave. I believe that Lopetegui was always in the frame. Yeah, I believe I've called this. I'm the only one on any platform that's called Lopetegui. Yeah, right. And I called it on Spaces. I've done Spaces, and I told everyone. I said, "What's this space? Lopetegui's massively in the frame here," and that's what I believe it is, mate. I believe like they've worked on this for about 5 months, and just the way it's ended. It's not him going. No, I agree with you. Yeah, it's time to go, right? But you don't go out like the villain of the piece. If that makes sense, and that's how it looks like. He looks like the villain here, right? Do you know what I'm saying? To a point. He shouldn't be going out like that.
I do know what you're saying. Look, you and me know that we don't always agree where David Moyes is concerned.
Yeah.
I think he's he is the cause of his own aggro.
True.
A lot of times with where Moyes is concerned. The only thing what you just said just there, I'm not denying that's true or anything because I don't I don't pretend to know everything. I'm not an ITK. I don't know. I'll take what people say and with a pinch of salt and everything. But if he's being backed up so much in the media, if people in football are saying what such a good job he's done in West Ham, if you think you're being mugged off behind your back by the owner, wouldn't you leave? Wouldn't you think this ain't worth it? I could get an offer somewhere else. The world is telling me I'm a great manager and what I've done at West Ham. I've basically put myself in a good light compared to when I was at Man United and Sunderland, etc. I could walk into another Premier League job now if I wanted to. Or there or thereabouts. Because if you think you're being most people in jobs, most people in jobs, if they think they're being mugged off and they think they could get not necessarily better, but you could get somewhere else. Like if you've got the world clamouring for you saying West Ham fans are being horrible to you, you should be getting more back in this club. You're thinking, hold on, why the fuck am I here? The managers, the owner's going to be on my back. The fans don't want me here. The players that don't even like me, some of them. I'm about it. You know, I'm giving you a trophy. Like now you're going to do this.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye.
I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I do. Yeah, I really do. But sometimes I just think to myself, he might be just sticking this out because he started a job and he wants to finish it. Like there might be that aspect.
Or he thinks he gets it so untenable that he gets sacked and then there's a payoff. Like most managers.
And that is very, very true. Like
the boy's gone on. The boy's thinking, I'm not going to be able to get sacked.
Technically, he's untouchable, isn't he? To a point. Like the only way you're going to get him out is by letting him go on a free. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Sullivan don't sack managers. Like he didn't do it with Avram Grant, and Avram Grant relegated us. He sacked him at the end. Yeah,
when did he get rid of Zola?
That was before Sullivan. Sullivan coming.
Yeah, no, 2010. But Zola. No, they come in when Zola was in charge.
Yeah,
they went into the papers and said all of these players. I remember one of the first things they did. Because I think they thought they were going to get the fans on side by making it out that all the players are crap and the manager was crap, and we're going to come along and we're going to be the saviours of this club. And then, funnily enough, all the West Ham fans went, "We might not like Zola, but there's a fucking lack of class of what you're doing here. You're saying every single one of these players is a sell. What the fuck are you doing?" And then it was like they get rid of Zola. Then they hired Grant based on the Champions, almost getting Champions League and the Portsmouth and stuff like that, which I was behind at the time. I thought, yeah, I can understand why they've hired him. I was younger then, so I played a bit more dense. But because I'm trying to think when they have done it in the past, because they got rid of Bilic. That's the only one I think of they got rid of. But Zola, I think, was they let him go at the end of the season and they got Grant in for the new season. They didn't second him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, but to say on Moyes, sort of round it up with Moyes, Lou, before we talk about the future. First off, how will you remember Moyes?
It's difficult for me. It really is. I'll tell you why. Because I've just been on Twitter and I've said it before. Like, people are now coming out, and I don't have a problem with them speaking good about him. I don't have a problem with them. You know, who am I to say this? But I don't have a problem with them wishing him well and saying thank you for your time and stuff like that. My only problem is that if someone comes out and says, "Yes, he's gone, brilliant," and someone goes, "Oi, don't be like that, some class," thinking, hold on, we've just been slagging him off. Not saying you haven't, saying that Moyes that lot. I've been slagging him off for the best part of a year, including myself. And now people suddenly got to go, "Oh no, actually I did like him," or "No, I did do a good job." No, sorry. People have been slagging him off for you. If they are happy that he's gone, they have every right to say that they're happy he's gone. Because as well, that's not hypocritical. For me, it's a little bit hypocritical to slag him off all season and suddenly say, well, you know, he's. I'm not saying like the people who have said the odd word about him. I'm saying people that have like.
I agree with what you're saying there, but is there happy that he's gone, but showing appreciation what he's done?
Yeah, but if you don't if you what I'm saying is because I know a lot of people that are like this. I know a lot of people who are Moyes in, and I know a lot of people who are Moyes out. And I know that someone who has never liked him because they associate him with Allardyce, and they literally like the trophy winners are players, nothing to do with the manager, and they've like there's nothing that he could do that they would praise him with, and so they're happy he's gone. They're over the moon. They're almost.
I can understand that aspect.
It's like a weight is lifted off their shoulders. If you know what I mean.
But I can understand it from that aspect. If you don't like the geese, you don't like the geezer. Fair enough. But my attitude is, you might not like the geezer, but you can still appreciate the journey that West Ham have been on in under his reign. Like you ain't got to like the geese. I'm not saying like that he's your best mate or anything like that, but Prague will never be matched. All right, it just won't. Lyon away, Seville at home, like some of the best, even the Leverkusen home game when we threw absolutely everything at that team, who are still unbeaten. Like we've had, don't get me wrong, we've had dark moments with Moyes. I won't make sugarcoat it and say it's been amazing, but the journey West Ham have been on to reach the top of the mountain and win a trophy, that deserves some
Good, look,
sort of
I'll,
respect.
I'll cut out everyone else, and this is just my opinion.
Yeah,
I'll close it up. My opinion is that I appreciate what he's done, and
yeah,
I can't sit here and say that I've always hated his tenure because I haven't. In my opinion, mine is more frustration with him, and I feel
yeah,
I feel so disappointed with the way just little things like post match interviews. When we was like during COVID and we'd win 3 or 4 nil, whatever it is, he'd go in an interview and say, "I think we could have played better. You know, we missed a few chances here and there." Yet in the last year, he's been going. Even if we got pumped, he'd go, "We played well." And I know that sometimes that's manager's psychological thing when they try and back the players up at any chance they get, and whatever. But used to be demanding the best. He used to be demanding making us run more than Pellegrini ever did. And then suddenly it just seems to be, we'll just do the bare minimum, and if we can get a goal from a corner kick, we will. That is the sort of thing that I feel disappointed with. Fundamentally, I will appreciate what he's done because I will have a lot of good memories. And I've posted about it on Twitter before. There was a time when we were Liverpool at home, for example. It was ironic the other day we played them 3-2 against Liverpool. Well, for me, was the last time we were the most confident, dominant we've ever been under Moyes, and we were fantastic to watch that night.
yeah,
Lyon away. Ironically, the first game of 2 seasons ago, 4-2 away to Newcastle. I thought, fuck me, West Ham had never come from behind to beat Newcastle away, and that was brilliant. Unfortunately, even though I probably would like it to be the other way around, I think for me mentally, the negatives will outweigh the positives because I don't think I could. Maybe in a month I'll feel differently and I'll wake up and I'll look back and I'll watch a few games on YouTube and I'll change my opinion.
yeah.
But I think I've just got myself to a point. Like for example, Chelsea, I wasn't even surprised that we like
That
every
was,
goal was going. Like, okay, we can see it again. It's got to that point now, and I think that's the problem. That's the disappointing thing is that now I don't look at him as someone who gave me all those times. I look at him as someone who's made me feel like this. That's
yeah.
that's
I
the
think
bad.
it's yeah. I understand what you're saying there. It's gone on too long, and it should have been nipped in the bud a little
Mm.
bit earlier, right? Um, something you just said there. I'm trying to remember what you said, but something you said in regards of like the best memories and all that. What is your best moment, like as a West Ham fan under David Moyes, other than Prague?
I think you kind of have to say Europe because that was his shining light throughout the whole tenure. Here. I think probably Leon away
Yeah,
because I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect us to be 1-0 up and then 2-0 up and then 3-0 up. There are about 4 games that stick in my mind. Sevilla was good, but Sevilla wasn't. The game wasn't as enjoyable as the atmosphere. I think the
but
atmosphere made it.
I think it was intense though, wasn't it? That was the tension in that ground, like, and even the boys were telling me
Oh,
like it was you could cut it with a knife.
the Leverkusen was similar to that because I think we had two of our main players out like we did for the first leg. I think the whole crowd got behind him, and I even said to my old man, I said like because he knows I'm against Moyes, and he was kind of giving me the old, oh, you are going to be behind you are going to be behind the boys tonight. I said, Dad, regardless of what I think about Moyes, I'm behind Moyes tonight. I need to be behind everyone tonight.
Yeah,
It's us against them mentality. So I've made that redundant, but yeah, I think the atmosphere has been it's given us some incredible nights. I'm not going to sit here and over everything because the Leon night, I just it was incredible for me for considering we haven't been able to get past Astragugu for 2 years straight in the qualifiers. To go through like we did, we just that's what I'm saying. He built a team that you can be proud of. He built a team that you would go into games no matter who you were playing and feel like you got a chance, and
yeah,
that's what I miss now. That's what I miss, and the Lyon game was I know obviously I think at the time they weren't very good at home and they were better away, and that's why obviously they got the 1-1 or whatever it was at home. Um, but yeah, I think that has to be my best memory because it's strange because I'm not saying Prague. It's strange. It's really strange. I'm not saying Prague. I just think overall, I think we were sort of favourite. We were favourites for the old competition, weren't we? And it was a bit like, um, yeah, to go that far in Europe first time round. That was where it was like party time for every game, no matter what it was. And by the time we got to Prague, it was like, well, we've been here before, not in a final, but we've been in Europe before, so it was almost like this is the next step now. And yeah, so that was an amazing night. It's just for me personally, what I remember going through during that game has to be the on away 3-0.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
What are you?
For me, there's a few. There really is a few. I think the Tottenham three. Someone mentioned it earlier on. Funny enough, Tottenham 3-0 in COVID was just
Yeah,
unreal. Right, 3-0 down against them. We're getting a lot of stick, and then that we spun that around in COVID. I
Valentino.
think I think the Liverpool home game when we come out of COVID in October. I think it was. I think it was 2022. I think that was. Um,
Wasn't it?
yeah, that was an amazing moment. Wolves away was good in COVID with Lingard,
Yeah,
the Lingard stuff. I think, as in the European adventures, obviously Lyon, Seville. Uh, I think Prague. I think Fiorentina. Yeah, when people say that we was meant to win it, they were a good outfit. They were a good outfit,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
they had just lost to Inter Milan, who just got to the Champions League final in their Coppa Italia, and they was playing us about 4 days, 5 days later. So um, I thought that was a good moment. Obviously, there's been some dark moments, like, and which I'm going to go on to now, and basically ask you what's been the worst. Now, for me, yeah, there's losing 5-0 and things like that. That's hard this season, yeah, because that it wasn't really happening last season as such. We was losing games, we weren't really getting battered all the time. Um, but I do the Frankfurt home game and the away game just stick in my mind all the time because that was just painful to lose that home game the way we did. You come out like everyone's buzzing, semi final, come out, and
Yeah.
then within 30 seconds we're 1-0 down. And then the Frankfurt away game was probably the hardest game I've ever watched as a West Ham fan to go 1-0 down and being down to 10 men and knowing that we can't do nothing. We literally just can't do nothing to get back in this game, and we just got to sit there and just go through the motions. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're 4-0 down, 5-0 down, you know what's coming.
Mm.
But the fact that we just couldn't
No,
retrieve the situation at all, it was
no.
just that was painful. What about you, mate?
Well, it's funny you say that about the Frankfurt game. I kind of looked at that as I think I treated the Lyon game as my final. I never
Yeah,
really truly, but my dream was to see West Ham go to Nou Camp. So Barcelona go through, regardless of whether we won or not. I just wanted to see West Ham at the Nou
yeah,
Camp. A personal dream of mine. So when I couldn't do it, I was like, no, this is, okay, we'll try and beat them anyway. Um, I had this thing when I watch tournaments, and I feel like it with international tournaments as well. I look at some teams who go to a certain level, they surprise everyone. And then they get to maybe the quarters or the semi-finals, and they drop off. It's like mentally there's a block. Like they get through to a stage and they don't play the same way. They don't play with the same intensity, and they lose like 2-0 or something like that. And I think I got that effect from Frankfurt because we were so buzzing and it was party atmosphere, and I think we were comfortable from beating Sevilla and beating Lyon the way we did. I think we had this sort of like a bit of an untouchability about us, like we had the confidence about us. And then basically that was a slap in the face. That was like, nah, you ain't
yeah,
there yet, boys. And it was like, we weren't concentrating. Basically, it was bang. It was like, oh shit, like this is real. Like we got to get our shit together. And we never really. I know we got 1-1, the way that they played compared to us, they just seemed to be a level above. And I think it was the first time where I watched this, and I watched the away fans as well doing the Poznan. And I
yeah,
know people will slag it off and say it's cheap and it's cheap choreography and whatever, and that's fair enough.
yeah,
That in that game, I actually quite enjoyed it. I was like, that looks. I've never seen a team do that to us in our own ground. I was like, that actually looks fucking like amazing. So there's a point where you just sit there and you just go, even if we get knocked out, I'm going to try and appreciate this for what it is. And then obviously the second leg, Creswell sending off didn't help, and I think that just sort of like deflated us even more. I don't really get what Rick Rice was saying when he was shouting corruption in the tunnel after the game, unless he's just talking about that red card. I don't know what was going on. I don't remember the game apart from wanting us to score. We were tried a few times. We just weren't at it. You could just tell that we were never going to
yeah.
score in there for another week. But my worst time, I think. I don't know. I think the 6-0 against Arsenal was pretty bad this year, mainly because it was like Declan Rice scored a banger and we just didn't turn up. I think I'm not going to say a whole season is a downer, but it has kind of felt like that this year. I know there's been a few good games here and there, but there's been a lot of games where you kind of, I don't know, when you watch the way we play, if you're going to be defensive, be good at being defensive, and that's what we haven't been a lot
Agree.
this year. Um, But like I said, I can't really pinpoint. I think what did piss me off was the Liverpool way in the League Cup this year when he picked a team that even if there's giving chance to youth players or fringe players, whatever you like it, but you could just tell that he was like, nah, do you know what, I don't fancy it. And I thought like that was like a kick in the teeth to
Yeah.
and I think for the first time, and don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid or naive to think that managers or players particularly care how fans feel. I genuinely think they're all multi-millionaire footballers. Like they got a job to do in the day. That's their job. They go home and that's it. They forget about it. But I think there was genuinely like, I don't give a shit if the fans have travelled up here. I don't give a shit if they want a cup run. I don't give a shit if they've got a chance. This is Liverpool way. I'm not gonna even like, if we get a win, we get a win, but I'm not going to chance it. I'd rather go and beat Man, which is fair enough in the business sense that if you want to beat Man United the weekend, you save them because we did beat Man United. So the argument is valid, but it just felt like a massive. I was up for it. I was like, I think you put a good team now. And then when he put a shit, I mean, you're throwing this, and I kind of lost respect for him a little bit. Then I think that was when I really did go. Do you know what? He can fuck off now because that's just like pissing on our strawberries. For me, it was anyway, personally. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a down moment.
Yeah. Um, the future, Lopetegui. It's looking likely. Yeah, people are. I don't know what people are doing, but they're trying to convince themselves that there's another manager in the pipeline. I'll be very, very stunned if new manager pops up now. Now everything's been agreed, and it's looking increasingly likely that Lopetegui is that guy. How are you going to feel about this, Lou? Because I am very, very mixed. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this is a Sullivan signing straight away, because it is. I feel like Tim Steidten hasn't had any involvement in this, and he's just accepting it because Sullivan says so. What are you saying, mate?
Well, it's interesting because I think someone was missing it on Twitter earlier, and I think I kind of understand where their point. Even if you wanted to go out and get another manager, they've all gone. The ones that were kind of available, but you'd have to pay out for them, they've gone. They've gone to other teams. I think
Yeah,
Amarin's staying at Porto, Sporting Lisbon. Someone's going Milan, someone's going Munich. It's all like basically Lopetegui is the only one we can get anyway, regardless of the thing. Um, the way I feel about it personally is I don't feel like I've got a right to moan about it because at various points this season when I've been at my most angry, I have genuinely said anyone could do better with this team than Moyes. So I'm not going to sit there and suddenly go and want Moyes out and out and out personally. And then when a new manager comes along and goes, I don't want him,
yeah.
thinking, no, hold on, Luke, you can't say that because you've been saying for
Yeah, but
ages.
as a standard change, though, Lou, that's the right. Because what it is, I'll tell you the
Yeah.
reason why I say that
Mm.
is that where people have been told Alonso, Slot, Almarin, Fonseca, all these managers, yeah, all these high end, top end managers, and they've all sort of been led down a path to a point to say this is what we're going to get. Stein's going to pick the man. Yeah, I mean Sullivan's got no involvement in it.
Saying the same. I've been saying the same.
Yeah, and now it's turned around, and the mirror is looking back at these people and saying Sullivan is the man. He does pick the manager, and Stein's got no involvement in the manager. Like it feels like Sullivan's just gone there and picked a manager because he's the only one who's prepared to come to West Ham on the cheap, to a point.
I totally understand where you're coming from. I find myself very much like agreeing with you. Like it's
Yeah,
another cheap signing. But I said the same thing when he hired Moyes again. And I was against that. And I said, this is just another cheap Sullivan's managerial thing. He'll keep this up and then what's the. My
yeah,
whole thing is that I didn't think Moyes would achieve what he did achieve with the club. And if Moyes can do it, then a lot of managers could probably do it. I am underwhelmed by it. I was underwhelmed when I heard it. I thought I rolled my eyes and I lifted me up, going, "Oh, fucking Sullivan again," because he does live in England and you haven't got to pay out any thingy clause. And
yeah,
this isn't really a strident choice because I think Amarim was and stuff like that. Um, and I am doing that thing where you hire a new manager and you just try to look at the positives as much as possible to convince yourself it's a good thing. And to be fair, I've seen some things, and I've seen some bad things, I've seen some good things, and
yeah,
I'm to weigh them up. So I am to a point not excited, but I am like, okay, I'm going to give him a chance. So my mentality is I'm not over the moon. I am um, like pissed off that it's like it's another Sullivan signing that again is like I find it very interesting that the wording in one of the reports in the papers today, which was I think you may even commented, I can't remember who commented now. Someone said, "Oh, Strident led," and like you say, it could be like, "Look, this is the only one that's available. Either take it or leave it." You go, "All right, okay, fine. I'll do the negotiations. Give me the paper. I'll go in the room and do it." And there's a lot of cons to it, and a big con man in Sullivan. So cons is probably the right word to use. But like I said, I've stood by this for ages, and it's been the one argument I personally have put through to anyone that said to me, "Well, if not Moyes, then who else?" And I try to say, well, and we don't think of a name, people jump down your throat. But you don't know anyone, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I understand that. I've got an argument that's concerned. But if Moyes, David Moyes, who failed at Man United, got Sunderland relegated, and didn't do very well at Sociedad, can walk into West Ham, win us a trophy, get us 3 years in Europe, then there are other managers out there that can do the same, if not better, in my opinion. So I've heard that Lopetegui is Moyes Mark II, where he's like a defensive
Pellegrini.
But he tries to play. But the thing with Pellegrini, because I tell you now, when I had a few beers that day, but when I heard that Pellegrini was sacked, I ran into the pub, wherever I was, and I went, "He's been sacked. He's been sacked." So I can't. At any point, back up. Pellegrini never gave me what Moyes had given me. So it's the point I can't be a hypocrite and go like, "Oh, Pellegrini was all right." Because to me, I think Roberto ruined his whole thing. Now I think he was probably building something long term, but we didn't really give him a chance. Whatever. But I just think with what Moyes achieved, I think if Lopetegui can find that balance between having defensive football, playing position football, which means that you get to see West Ham players with the ball more than you would the opposition players, which has been happening last year or so, and find a way to attack well or to a decent level, then I don't think it's a good long-term appointment. I think it'll probably do us for a couple of seasons, because I think that's what we've done wrong with Moyes. We've kept him on too long. I think we've missed the boat to get him out at the right time. I bring him in. So I'm trying to look at the positives, and I'm trying to go right. It's not who I wanted. I've heard nothing but bad things about him walking out of Wolves, but then he was under. I looked at his honours earlier on. He's obviously won the Europa League with Sevilla. It's like it's their trophy pretty much, isn't it? So they're going to win it anyway, regardless if he's in charge. But apparently he's got very good man management skills, and I think that's something that Moyes lacks a lot of time. He likes his bubble of players and doesn't really like anyone else in it. Sabin Ram apparently has liked the post of West Ham that said that Moyes is going. I don't know if that's anything to look into or not, but I think we need someone to get the players in and either give some of them a slap in the face or an arm around the shoulders to whoever needs it. So hopefully the reports I'm reading about him, if he's coming, he's coming. There's nothing you can do about it. If people like yourselves are just going to be against it, I totally understand that as well, because that's if you don't like it, you don't like it.
I'm not against it, but I'm against the narrative that we've been led there. That's what I'm against.
I agree. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? When you listen and doing the YouTube game, you hear quite a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like when you're getting told that you're going to go after these top end managers, then I can accept that. But I don't see a project here. I see a short term vision under a manager that is volatile at best. Like this geezer is like, if he gets a better offer elsewhere and someone comes in for him, he'll be gone. Like he'll be literally gone. Now, do I really want to hand that over to a man who's like that? No. But at the end of the day, we've got to accept it. Like, because he is coming. I don't see anyone else coming. I'm about 90% sure now. Every day it's going past, my percentage is going up, and I do believe that he will be the West Ham's next manager. Now, who knows, Lou, next year? Yeah, obviously we've got to look at this in the summer, and then come to August when everyone's back together, ready for the first game of the season. That's when everyone will just go, you know what's done in the past is done. This is a fresh start. We're going to see how he goes. The only issue that I have currently right now is that Moyes has set a standard at West Ham to finish basically top 10 pretty much all the time, other than one season. Now, for me, Lopetegui's got to match that. He's simply got to match that.
Any manager of that suit, to be fair.
Yeah. But that has to be the bare minimum. Now, if Lopetegui comes in and we finish 10th next season, but we have a good season to a point, good games, bad games, it's going to happen. It's part and parcel.
Yeah.
Then that's all well and good. But if West Ham finish 14th next season, and we've spent 150 to 200 million in the transfer market to rebuild this squad, I do think people will start looking at they'll look at the transfer market and go, well, basically, we've spent all this money out on a rebuild when we're finished there. Do you know what I'm saying? And then on the other hand, you've got to be looking upwards rather than
I
down.
know,
If that makes sense.
and the point you're making is a valid one. And as I said to you before, people are going to be like, he's a bit of a maverick man. He sounds like a bit of a maverick manager, a bit like having a maverick player. One minute
Yeah.
can be all right, next minute he's had enough. But he is going to be one of the most scrutinised managers from day one, because people are going to be looking for a magnifying glass. The media are going to be on him like it is anything. Like they're going to be waiting for him to fuck up and then go, see, we told you, I should have kept Moyes. So he's got a job on his hands. There's no doubt. I think he looks like the type of guy that can handle that. He sounds like the kind of guy that goes, no, do you know what? A little bit my way or no way, a little bit like that. But I think he's going to be a bit more open than that. But I think what's going to happen is it's happened a bit like the Spurs this year with Postecoglou. There's going to be a breath of fresh air to a point. If he plays better football and people are enjoying going to the games more than they did under Moyes, I think there'll be a good portion of the fan base that will give him some leeway. Not everyone will. There'll be people that are waiting to jump on saying, "Yeah, we played well, we didn't win." That sort of thing. And that's fair enough, because that's been the argument from day one. But the football has to come first. I think the football right now, with the way the fans are feeling, football has to come first to a point. Like you have to show fans that there is going to be some sort of change. Like if we're going through pre-season, or if we go for the first game and we're playing low block football with a counter attack, people are going to go, nothing's changed, and we might win the game 1-0 or 2-1 or 3-0 or something like that. But there'll be a certain section of the family going, yeah, but we did this a few times under the Moyes, so what's the change? But if you show people that, hold on, I'm willing to play a better style of football here. That's the best. That really is the problem, because the fan base is so at each other. You're going to have some result-based fans and some style-based fans.
But I do think though, the results come into the equation a lot. Like, because, for instance, if you don't get the results, you don't get into Europe. Like, and as fans, we've got to look at this now and go, West Ham have to win by any means necessary, sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think that will wash as much next season if West Ham play decent football but keep losing every week, because people will start turning around and saying, "Well, hold on a minute, we're playing all right, but we're not going nowhere."
See, I know where you're coming from, but I disagree. It's been like it, because I don't think we've even won when we have played poorly anyway. A lot of times this season, I know we won a few games here and there, but
I agree with you on that. Yeah,
but overall, the football has been dying.
But under a new manager, though, like you've got to be looking at this and going, right, there's got to be a standard. 1, you want good football. 2, I want to see West Ham winning more than we're losing.
Yeah.
And 3, I want to see West Ham finishing the top 10. Like, I don't think top 10, Lou, is outrageous to ask for. Not in this Premier League, so to speak.
Well, the pundits and the media, all they've been pointing to is where West Ham have finished and where they are on the table. They don't really take into we know the fans don't like the football, but, and they'll go with that. So they'll look at that. But I'm saying the match going day fans, and you get there's a contingent of West Ham that go to every home and every away game. And I think, okay, like we beat Wolves 2-1 the other week, but we were terrible for this amount of the game or whatever, and it's not nice for some. And I think if he, I think so you have to win. There's no doubt about it. There's only so many times where you can play well and lose. But I don't think, I agree with some people to say that they're not mutually exclusive. You can play well and win, and play badly and lose. It's not like one comes to the other. I know West Ham haven't done it consistently, but West Ham aren't doing it consistently now.
Does he get a grace period for you next season? Like, so just for argument's sake, West Ham finish 13th, but West Ham are building the side up for the following season to attack the following season. Like, if you can see a side being formed and a style of play and a project, does he get a year's grace, or should he get a year's grace, really?
I don't think he gets a year's grace. I'm not going to be naive and go, I'll give him a year, because I didn't really give. Moyes had the first thing, and he kept us up, and I was like, okay, we'll do what you want now. If you, I didn't expect sick where we finished in Moyes' first full season. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it. I was blown away by the way we were playing. So I'm not going to sit here and go, I was at Moyes' throat from the first second. I wasn't. He said it was a relegation. I thought, brilliant. Great, nice one. Cheers. Didn't know how long he was going to be along. I didn't think he was a long-term manager. So the fact that he's been here for 5 years or whatever it is. So for me, I'm going to give him a grace period, but I'm not going to like sit there all happy for like a year when I think no, hold on, he's come in and he's not changed much. Then it's different. I'll give him. I'm not going to set like a time frame because I think you need to see it early on. You need to see something early on that okay, this is different. This is good. This is improving. This is like maybe in a pre-season game I'll see us like attack like with 5 players at a go or see something different because I've realised, me personally, I've realised that results aren't all I care about because I've sat here before, even when Moyes was at his best with us, when we've lost like 3-0, and I couldn't have been happier because I was so proud the fact that we gave it a go and we were um, you know, giving it a go. And we lost the game, but my missus said to me, I said, you lost 3-0. I said, yeah, but I'm happy because we gave it a go, and that's all I want. And really, when it is, if we win, it's a bonus. This is just me where I'm coming from. People like I'm an idiot, I'm naive, and that's fair enough. If I come across that, that's fine. But I used to think results is all I care about, and this is why I used to beat the Allardyce pro drum. So I used to argue with people who were against Allardyce, thinking, yeah, but look what he's done, look what he's got us. And now I'm getting older, and now I'm a season ticket. I want to go to more games, I watch more games. I'm realising that actually winning for me is like a bonus. But for example, we got knocked out by Leverkusen, but we've been prouder. I could not have been prouder. And for me, I think maybe not long term. I'm being a bit short-sighted here by saying what I'm saying, but
I understand that because I've heard that argument quite a lot from different people, different platforms, different people, different individuals, right? So I do understand what you're saying on that regards. I do.
I will say in a minute. I'll let you land, but I will say
right. I do understand that. I do. Like in regards of like you want to see West Ham playing a better style and having a go, right? Because basically before Moyes, before Pellegrini, before Stratford, that's what West Ham was. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Just have a go, right? Give everything, leave nothing right for chance, and that's it. Now, for me, the standard has been set by Moyes to say that West Ham are not just that flaky side that are bottom half of the table every year or every other year and fighting relegation. Now, I do think it has to come as a collective. I think there has to be a project. I think you have to be good football. You have to have a manager with the right philosophy in regards of moving forward with the team, and also winning games of football. People say that's not really important. It is to a point because listen,
I'm not denying this.
Crystal Palace, for instance, I use them as an example. They've got Glasner in, I think his name is. He done us with Frankfurt. They will be a really decent side next year. Like if they get a lot of investment, they will be a decent little outfit. And for me, that's what I want to see West Ham be. I want to see West Ham be bigger and better than they currently have been with Moyes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And like I said, maybe this is a short term thing with me because I feel like I don't get to see West Ham do it very often, which is play well. Like I think for the last year and a half, football's got worse. So maybe it's me when I do see it. I'm like, yeah, it's brilliant, it's fine. It's like a drug to me. It's like, oh yeah, brilliant. That's a great, it's great game to watch. My point, which reminded me, is I tried to say it earlier. I think I watched a Talk Sport episode or a clip, and a comment on it saying, when the ex-players and when the pundits come out and they say, "Oh, you're sick for doing this, you're doing that. What else do you want?" Well, I tell you what we want. We want to be, what do you think you are, a top 4 team? Well, we got moved to fucking Stratford to be a top 4 team. So if West Ham fans are sitting there going, "We want this, we want that ain't our fault. It's what we were sold when we first moved to the fucking stadium." So if we are sitting there going, "We want this and we want that," we would wrapped it in a little bow, right, with world class players. That is what we were sold. And and like I said to you, back in the 2018 protest, we were told, "Oh, you should be happy that they saved the club." It's like, don't be surprised that West Ham fans are suddenly demanding or something, because this is, if we were at Upton Park, no one would be moaning because this is West Ham. It's what West Ham do. We play well, whatever, right? No one bats an eyelid. But now we've moved to a 60,000 stadium. We're to a level. It's like it's like a Del Boy sort of job. Everyone knows it was like Boris was involved and stuff like that. And everyone knows it's fucking dodgy from start to finish. But They moved the season on a promise, and for me, they've never delivered that promise. Yes, winning the Conference League is an amazing, fantastic achievement. It's great, but they set the standard of that. What we should be trying, that is almost like the very least we should be, based on the promise when we moved in, that is the very least of what we should be trying to achieve. So it's an amazing. You'll always remember that night. We know, yeah, we will, but we should be trying to achieve that every year. That's what the standard has been set. You don't see Man United. You don't see who do you think you are, Man United? I think, well, no, hold on. We were told we would be. We were told that was what we were going to be turned into. So if we are sitting here and going, well, I'm not happy, but we are sitting stuff like that. What more do you want? That is what we do want more because we've been told that's what we should expect, and when we don't get it, and that's what happens is because you don't do something consistently, suddenly the want drops off, and suddenly everyone's like just happy to be in a bubble. And I suppose maybe now I'm one of those that fit into that category. But you are totally right. Is that this is why I'll never ever get you for that because I totally understand and agree with where you're coming from. And I think that's what I was expecting when we first moved. I got my season ticket. And I was buzzing because I thought in my head, we've just come off a great season at the Bowling, Payet,
Yeah.
and we're going to get even better now. And it's just out. And it's been, and I'd see another thing just before I finish on this bit. All these ex-players that have been saying that they've been backing Moyes, I've been hearing that a lot of them don't mean what they say when they're on TalkSport or on BT interviews or whatever you want to call it, because behind closed doors it's something completely different. Anyone that's backed up, anyone that's just backed up Moyes and slagged off fans at the same time. Fair enough, you back Moyes up, fair enough, right? But don't slag the fans off because there's a reason why we're saying what we're saying. And the ones that say the West Ham way never existed. And Stuart Pearce has since been one of the biggest ones, the most insulting thing he could have said. I'm not saying the West Ham way is the best thing in the world, but it was definitely. I've been told growing up what the West Ham way was by I'm a generational fan. I'm a third, maybe even fourth generational fan.
Yeah.
And, there is a way that West Ham, whether we still play it now or not, is a different thing. But for ex-players to come out who have played for the club and have the West Ham fans are brilliant for years, been saying, one of the best clubs I've ever played for. The West Ham fans are really passionate fans. Well, you play for the club. You should know have some idiom of an idea of what we were going on about when you've been playing for them. And suddenly, because we've won a trophy or something, suddenly that's never existed. I think it's a load of bollocks. But then that's. So I don't know who. I don't. There's a few that come to mind straight away, but I know there are others. One of them is I think Joe Cole. I think there's a few others that I wouldn't shake their hands if I saw them at a pub now, and I mean that 100%. So maybe after 5 pints, I wouldn't.
One thing I will say to round this video up, is how do you think it's going to go with the fans now, Lou? Because obviously, I've done many shows with Views Boys on the West Ham Network. Obviously, I've done the stuff on here. I've had the Moyes in, Moyes out thing consistently over the last 18 months. Got to be long time, yeah. How do you think this goes in the future for everyone to a point?
Well, it's kind of like what I said with the protests. Is that it fizzled out. The sort of the anger fizzled out after a few wins. It was like, right, we're winning now. The protests have stopped.
Yeah.
And I think it might be kind of the same thing with this. If Lopetegui, Lopetegui, I think it's Lopetegui or Lopetegui.
I call him Lopetegui.
That's the one. No, that is it apparently. Lopetegui, if basically as much as I want to see good football and stuff like that, he has to hit the ground running in a way that will please the Moyes outs and the Moyes ins. It's a big ask, but I think he has to do it because, like I said before, it's all going to depend on how the team reacts and he reacts and the club reacts because I do sort of feel like it has gone too far to an extent. Like there's bridges that have been burned and
yeah.
But then on things like the Leverkusen night, I didn't know one fan that was having a go at prior to the game and during the game. We felt like we was all coming together. We was all an army going to war, and I feel like that can come back. But like I said, it's not just the fans; it's the media because it should be like an ongoing battle. Fans amongst each other, the media going against fans, the media going against ex-players and stuff like that who are trying to stick up for certain people. I've seen other videos. I've seen a friend of mine who does some stuff overseas, and he's talked and it's been like the media man trying to tell the mate what he should be saying, and I've go, no, he's got a point, and it's like a three-way battle between who's trying to stick up for each other. I think it can get better. We can get more of a harmonious fan base. I don't really think we should look for it on social media, because I think social media is always going to be at each other's throats, whatever happens. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a toxic place, regardless of football. It just is. That's just the way social media is. But if he hits the ground running, it's got to be this thing of, you got rid of Moyes, but you have improved. So fair enough, you probably made the right decision. And then there's going to be a side of it that goes, well, shouldn't have got rid of Moyes. And then it's like, yeah, we just got our football back. And then it's the constant argument is going to go back and forth and again. So there is a chance.
If you want me to be honest, to round this up, I feel that next season, if it goes well, or it goes well-ish, I think it'll be fine. I think people will start looking to a new direction, because the argument will be, if people start going at Moyes again and saying, well, look what Lopetegui's doing, Moyes didn't never do this, then people will start firing back at, look what Moyes done in this time there and everything, So I do think next season's a big year for Lopetegui, if he is the guy. I do believe he is the guy. If he can get us to a standard of quality football, winning games of football, and looking good in doing it, like i.e. trying to sort of play a style that sort of fits the players that we've got currently, and integrating new players in, then I think people will get on board with it. I think not having no Europe is key. I think that allows us week to week to plan, prep, and learn a bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? I think we've really been blagging it to a point over the last few years in regards of one of the smallest squads, and we're trying to do four competitions a year. That's like, it just can't be done. Do you know what I'm saying? So hopefully, like, the future is bright. I'm going to back the geezer. I don't like the appointment, but I'm going to back the bloke. But
fair enough.
For me, it's next season's a big year for West Ham. I think when the dust settles with Moyes and we move on in next year, I think it'll be a distant memory. The only issue I have with it currently right now is that I do think what you said on West Ham Network the other week, that you don't think it's going to go away anytime soon, this thing. I think it will continue a little bit. And I actually believe when Lopetegui goes, that's when it ends. Because I think it'd be people who focus on Lopetegui, what Lopetegui's doing, and then forget what Moyes had already done. And that's when it'll finish with the Moyes in, Moyes out shit, and that little debacle sort of thing.
Interesting. I'm not going to obviously drag it on too long, but that's providing that he stays a little while, because we don't know if this is the Sullivan appointment, this could go on like Moyes. If he achieves, I don't think it's going to be one of those things where, if he achieves Europa League, say, first time around in the league, gets us quite far in the cups or whatever you want to call it, just hypothetically, that Sullivan's going to go, cheers for what you've done this season, I'm going to get so and so in, because I think, well, if he's done this well, we can do better next year, or he can do the same. That's kind of where Sullivan, Stidham needs to walk in and say, no, he's got to go, because this bloke from Ipswich, say McKenna's got Ipswich mid-table or something like that, goes, right, no, we get McKenna in, 20 million, we can get McKenna in, and that's it, and that's done. Sullivan goes, well, hold on, this guy's doing pretty well. Why should I get rid of him? He's come and done what I asked of him. He's not better. Then of course, if he goes the other way and he gets sacked within a season, not saying he gets sacked within 6 months, but if he gets sacked within a season or whatever, it goes really, really badly. Then you get another guy in and he can't match the standards of Moyes. Then you're going to get, well, you've had two managers now, and neither of them have been able to do what Moyes did. So look what happens now. So that's the only way I personally see it coming out, is that if he hits the ground running, but then again, he could hit the ground running, and someone goes, well, Moyes hit the ground running at the start, and we got 3 years out of him. So what I'll do, give Lopetegui 4 years and see how he does after that. So it's never ending, is it? It's never ending. I see. Russ made it. I don't know if anyone wants to watch it. Just quickly mention Russ done a video earlier. I do understand where he's coming from, because yes, it can be seen as a cheap appointment, but like Russ said, and I do kind of agree with him. Is that with Amorim, you've got to buy him. You've got to buy him into West Ham. You've got to buy the contract, and you've got to get him in because you've got obviously you wanted Liverpool job or whatever, and he's staying at Sport. And Lopetegui wants to come to West Ham. Not saying that he wants to come specifically to us. It's just that he maybe sees it as a way of clean slate Premier League wise. He can prove himself. So to an effect. Maybe this is a positive spin of it, I don't know, but I do kind of understand where he's coming from, where he goes, well, you know, Amarin's got to be paid to want to come to West Ham. Lopetegui's wants to come to West Ham for free. Basically, that's what he was making out.
I don't know how to make. I don't know how to make that one because, like, if you go out and want to buy a Ferrari, you got to pay the money for it. Do you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get it for free.
Like what I'm saying is that if Amarin comes to West Ham and he sees it as a stepping stone for Liverpool, so I don't know. Say Farney doesn't hit the ground running Liverpool, and Amarin does really well with us, he could be off within 6 months to a year, whatever you want to call it. And Lopetegui might want to. I presume he's got the Wolves sticker on him, and he is in like no. He failed at Wolves.
He's got a point to prove. I'll give you that.
Been like Moyes with us first time round.
I'll give you that. Like he's got a point to prove. He's got a bad rep at the minute in the Premier League, and he needs to rebuild the rep. So I totally get that. What you're saying there, I think if you go and buy Almerin, that's showing a statement of intent. Like, I think at the minute, if you look at it currently right now, are the fan base really happy with Lopetegui? I don't believe so. Yeah.
The thing I was thinking, this is where he was coming from. I think was more the fact that Amarin come for Liverpool, really, but Amarin for Liverpool, he didn't want West Ham, but if he has to go West Ham, but the same thing with Kudus. Apparently, Kudus wanted to go to Chelsea, and Chelsea didn't want to apply the money for him, so West Ham went and done it instead. So you're always going to get this thing of, I don't want to, Emerson. Apparently, Emerson didn't want to leave Chelsea. We paid him 10 grand or a week, and he decided to come. Apparently, that was a big thing. And, he was happy where he was, so he come and then. I'm not with that, provided that you play well, and that's what Emerson's done. But the whole thing with Amarin, I think I was a little bit like, because I bought into it, but I was like, oh, okay, this is we're going somewhere now. Amarin's left field. I didn't expect it because it was one of those, one of them things we won't get him. And suddenly, when he was on the plane, I was like, hold on, this guidance there. Okay, this is good. Then when you hear that he was trying to force Liverpool's hand and then gave up because they were going to go for slot. Like I said, I'm not an ITK. I don't pretend to know what's going on. But from what I took it, I suddenly went So we're second choice, if not no choice, because he doesn't really want to see what's Liverpool job. He wants to try and boost them up, which apparently Lopetegui's apparently done today as well with the old Milan job, I think, or with Bayern Munich, which is saying, well, they're interested in me. You might as well get me now. If not, I'm going. So, but this is football. Football is never that genuine or clean. People are always trying to. Their agents are always trying to get some sort of deal going for anyone. So I'm not going to say that Lopetegui's completely for West Ham. But if you tell me that someone wants to sign for someone else and it comes to us because we're second choice, and then someone goes, no, I want the West Ham job. I've been after it for 6 months. I still live in England. Then to a level, I'm kind of going, do you know what? Give the geezer a go. If you really want this job, if you really want to give your name a better light in the Premier League, then fair enough. Like, come over to us. At least you're not trying to mug us off for Liverpool or something like that. But there's obviously more to it than that, and obviously I'm just some supporter, so I don't know.
So am I, Lou. So am I. Right, I'm going to wrap that up there,
yeah,
Lou.
No worries,
it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, as always. Shout out where you can, like, all your social media links and channels.
If you don't want to follow me, I'm an idiot. I say waffle. You get me on Facebook, you see all my comments and stuff. But no, I'm on Twitter. I'm on West Ham Network. I've been on there for years. I've started this thing where I'm getting to know people more, so that's why I'm on different channels every now and then. I'm guesting, but I just say my opinion, and I don't really want to be sometimes, but I think I'm too opinionated for my own good.
No, it's good, mate. It's good. Listen, it's a breath of fresh air. Yeah. If you can have an opinion with someone, and at the end of the day you can shake hands, walk away, and there's no hostility. That's how it should be in life. It's when it starts going up to a level where it shouldn't go to. That's when it.
Mate, you know me. I'm always trying to be balanced, and I might be angry. When someone here, I try and go right. Let's get me this. But sometimes it gets the better of me, and luckily I haven't come on YouTube after a game for a review for a very long time. So, but maybe it's quite lucky in that way. But.
well, don't watch my afterthought from yesterday because I literally went into one. So there you go. Right, that's enough from us. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. hit the notification bell, and all that malarkey. I will see you again in the next one. David Moyes is no more. He's saying goodbye. Is Lopetegui coming in? I think he is. Take care and goodbye.
Level up, get set, level up.